Hey guys, thanks for tuning in for another round of limited edition dupes. I've got a really exciting palette to compare to some permanent collections for you guys, so stick around if you're excited. I hope that you will stay tuned. Okay, so this is our palette for today. This is the NARS Fully Loaded palette. Today is August 27th. The palette is still available on Sephora's website. It's been out for a while, so I'm not sure how much longer it's going to be around. So I figured I would go ahead and just add this to my new series on my channel. It's my limited edition dupes because I do have a lot of limited edition palettes, and I'm starting to build up some permanent collection palettes as well. I figured I would just show you different ways that you can create, different ways that you can recreate palettes if you aren't able to get your hands on these limited edition goodies. So this one's going to be a little challenging. I looked through my collection and I have two palettes that I am able to capture a lot of the shades from. For this series, I oftentimes try to find like 1, 2, max 3 products that you need to sort through to recreate something, just because at that point, like, you can't really recreate it with any sort of ease, and that's what this is all about. So let's go ahead and jump on in. I do have swatches on my Instagram, so I'm not going to necessarily take the time to swatch these for you now, but here's what the NARS palette looks like. I have struggled with this palette. I can do a separate review if you guys would like to see it, but these just pull really neutral on me, and this is not a palette that I care to create full looks with, although you certainly can. You certainly can. So it's just not for me, but I was looking at this palette and I was like, all right, I really want to do a video on it. Let me see if I can find some comparable shades in other palettes. And the one that I originally went to first, this is the Urban Decay Naked Smoky palette. I don't think this is limited edition, but it is a part of Sephora's weekly wow, so I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know if they're discontinuing it or, you know, anything like that. I'm going to try and show you without blinding you guys, so I am going to definitely blind you guys. But here's what the two palettes look like. This might be a complete fail. So they do have similar shades. The other palette that I saw that did have some comparable shades was the LORAC Pro palette. This is what this one looks like. I've got this new lighting situation. It's getting on my last nerve, but hopefully you guys can see these. I'll try and hold up the NARS palette as well, but that's what the two of these look like. So they do have similar shades. I'm going to try and show as many dupes as possible, but bear with me. I have all three out. I'm just kind of looking at all of them, trying to figure out what look I'm going to do. So we shall see. This will be the limited edition side, though. I do know that. NARS will be on this side. LORAC and Urban Decay will be on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and get myself situated, and then we'll jump on in. All right. So I've just primed my eyes with the Smashbox 24-hour photo finish primer. I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit. We're gonna start with this cream shade. It's the best transition shade for me out of this palette, but it doesn't look that best on me, so I want to try and recreate a look that's actually wearable. Otherwise this is a little silly, so just bear with me. This is going to be a little light, but I'm just going to put this all over the lid. Next, for sake of recreating this look, I really want to go in with this shade, but I don't see a good dupe for it between the two palettes, so I'm going to go in with this taupey shade, keep it a little more concentrated to my crease area. I'm trying to build up some color, but it's hard when you're doing limited edition dupes. I mean, and that's part of it. Like, not every shade is dupeable, but oftentimes a lot of shades are. You know, I found that I either really like the brand, or I like the packaging, or I like that brand's formula, and that's really driving me to pick up something more than the actual colors in there. So alright, that's as good as that's gonna look. This is why I don't like this palette, because I look ashy, and there's not much I can do about it right now for this video. Actually, I'm gonna go in with this brown shade. Alright, I'm trying to keep track of what I'm doing, so I'm gonna go in with this. I'm gonna go for a bit of a smokier look for this video. Just trying to layer this on. Go back in. Alright, so that's my base. We're gonna ignore this ashiness that's there. I mean, I can't really do too much about it, but you can also see how this looks on my skin tone. So I'm gonna go ahead and start recreating this eye with those shades so I don't forget. I'm gonna go in with the Naked Smoky for that similar kind of beige color. We've got Combust, I think that's the name of it. It's this one right here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and layer these down. I don't want to like completely do this eye and then forget what I did on my other eye, so I'm gonna put this down kind of all over. So yeah, so far so good. I'm gonna go in, what did I do next? With this taupey shade, I'm gonna go in with Taupe from the LORAC Pro palette. I'll show you guys real quick. That should be Taupe. So I'm gonna go in, same thing, try and do a little bit of a transition shade. And all three of these palettes are pretty cool tones. So, I mean, at the heart of this, actually, yeah, no, the NARS palette's pretty cool tone as well. It does look a little bit warmer than the LORAC Pro and the Urban Decay palette, but let's see. Okay, so far they're pretty identical. I'm gonna go back in with a little bit more, and then try to do the transition shades. Okay, so that's that. I'm gonna go in for a dark brown color. I'm gonna go in with Espresso out of this palette. I was gonna pick up an Urban Decay shade, but it looks a little too brown, so I'm gonna go in with Espresso kind of on that outer. It's mostly in the crease and on the outer V, so I'll just recreate that quickly. I do think that these are blending much better than the NARS shadows. I don't know. Some people love NARS and some people can live without them. I've been able to live without them for this entire time. So let me go in with the color switch real quick and get these two to pretty much look the same. I think the colors are on point, but I need to go in with that darker brown shade a little bit more on this eye. All right, so that's that. So far we look exactly the same. This series is going well. I'm like 2 for 2. Okay. Next, we're going to go in with, I'm going to do a bit of like a goldy red look, just so I can use more of the shadows. I'm going to go in with this Lottie brush. Okay, so I'm going to, on the NARS side, go in with this gold right here and a little bit of red on the outside. I can pull some shades from the LORAC Pro palette to recreate this on the other eye. So let me go ahead and add those. Got a little gold in there. And I will put a photo for each side of my face at the end as I'm talking through kind of the end part of this. Yeah, I don't know how cute this is gonna look, but we're here. So, I don't know. I just don't really care for this palette all that much, but that's how that side looks. I'll go in with the color switch. I'll pull these two shades from the LORAC Pro palette. I might spend some time blending out the top part of my eye because I look crazy. I'm going to go in with gold and garnet on this eye. Ooh, that is pigmented. I never reach for this palette, but I forgot how nice it is. My goodness. This little lady's getting the job done. So these shades, let me take them. I always save the plastic on my palette, so I have to remove them. These shades aren't quite exactly the same. The NARS side is a little bit redder, but okay. I can get with this. I'm gonna try and just put this more. I really want the gold concentrated to the inner part of my crease. These are really shimmery, like really, really glittery. And the NARS eyeshadows are not so much like shimmer and glitter. Let me look at myself real quick, try and even these out. Alright, so here's the final product. Just to kind of cool down that dark shade on both of my eyes, I'm going to go in with the Black Radiance True Complexion powder kit, and this is the light to medium one. I'm going to go in with this shade right here. Mine's broken, so I'm trying not to have it fall everywhere. I'm going to go in, I'll just hold it up. I'm going to go in with this Contour Sculpt shade and just kind of get a transition color that works for both of them. This is not cheating because I technically didn't pull this from either palette. I'm just trying to round this out how I would for any eyeshadow look. So I just kind of needed to blend a little bit more seamlessly to the rest of my face. Alright, you guys, so this is the final look. I do feel like I look a little washed out in my video today, so I will put a picture right here. I'll sit in the middle. I'll put a picture of this side of my face over here. I'll put a picture of this side of my face over here, and I'll just kind of talk to you guys in the center for a little bit so you can see them side by side. So I don't think I like this lighting situation. I'm probably going to go back to my other lights soon, or some different kind of combination, because I look just like really pale today, and that's not good. But let me give you my overall thoughts on how this experience went. Talk you through each of the palettes. I ended up putting a little bit of concealer under the eye just to kind of bring everything down. Did have to go in and use a few shades out of here to bring the look down a little bit to something that's a little more wearable. I will admit I do struggle with this palette getting good transitions from like a lighter to dark shade when I want to do something smoky and not look like I have raccoon eyes. It's just not my specialty, so part of this experience could be a little bit of user error, but I do have thoughts on each of the palettes overall that I think exist outside of that. So I'll take part of the L for the blending on this side of my face, but because I was trying to do a look from this palette that I could find dupes for, like I wasn't able to necessarily use this peach shade to help with that transition color. So I feel like if I was able to go back in with that, this look would probably look a little bit more wearable, but it's all good. That's why we have this series on my channel. It's a learning process. My thoughts on this palette overall, it's still available in Sephora. I think it's passable. I haven't used this LORAC Pro palette in a while, but the shades do blend out more easily. I mean, if you're a NARS fanatic, you're going to pick this up either way. You probably do already own it. I think I've said this in a previous video, but these shades are pretty, but for me, they're more toppers. I will probably not ever create full looks with this again. It's just not my taste. I don't quite care for it. Looking at the two looks overall, they're pretty daggone similar. Like, yay me for figuring out a look that I could create with them. They're pretty similar. So these are all around similar price points. I do know this Naked palette is half off this week, probably for a few more days. So I will say with this palette, I could not pull like those topper shades from this one. So this is a dupe to an extent, but it does have this limits. I feel like the LORAC palette was more dupeable to the NARS palette than the Urban Decay one, but I did use both of them to recreate the look. So the LORAC Pro palette, these are always great palettes. The Urban Decay Smoky palette, I never really reached for this. It's not my favorite, but I had it in my collection and it worked for the purpose of this video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked this series, if you liked me showing you limited edition versus permanent collection dupes, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. It helps me understand what you guys like watching, what you don't like watching, and the support's always appreciated. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please think about doing so. The notification bell is also down there next to the subscribe button if you like watching what I'm posting as I'm posting it. Also, don't forget to comment on this lighting situation. I feel like a ghost right now, but if you guys like this better, holla at me. I changed out a super kind of orangey light above my vanity to this white one, and now I have regrets. So just let me know, help me figure it out. We'll figure it out together. As always, the support is appreciated, especially if you're new. Thanks for checking out this video. I will link the playlist, the growing playlist, for my limited edition dupes series. So with that, take care, you guys. Have a great rest of the day. I will see you guys shortly. Bye.